It's a teen talk skating podcast where I embarrass myself. Hello, and welcome to episode number 88 of the Teen Talk Skating podcast. My name is Van Gogh. I hope you guys are all doing very, very well as I join you on this Friday evening. Did that sound professional? I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the Teen Talk Skating podcast. This week has actually been like one of the most stressful weeks of my life, like ever. Like, I don't know why everything just kept on piling up this week. There were so many things to do this week piling up, this, that, like, oh my gosh, like I just could not handle it. But I'm still here on a Friday evening recording a podcast, honestly, just because I want a bit of a stress reliever, if you will, and take a break from all the stuff I'm doing. But anyway, so many things have piled up. I'm still here. I went to a lot of different events this week and I went and did a lot of different things, but I still like to come home on Friday evening and do my little podcast adventure. The new Taylor Swift album came out. Honestly, I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. If you listen to Taylor Swift, then yeah. I don't know, like I don't know, it just isn't like my vibe. It wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't my vibe. It just didn't really resonate with me. I've been using that word a lot, resonate today. I don't know. But yeah, the new Taylor Swift album was just not it for me, but we'll see. Maybe it'll grow on me like the other TTPD did. So yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys are all doing very well. I hope you guys are staying safe and not sick. Hopefully everyone is like sick where I live, I swear. I hope you guys are all doing well. And let's go to our program of the week because we do have a lot to talk about today. Program of the week. Okay, so our program of the week this week is a program which I think really grew on me. Maybe this will be like the new Taylor Swift album, but honestly, this program was not one of my favorites when I first watched it, and I don't know what changed in me this week, but I think I was rewatching it. It came up on my recommended. I think it brought back some things for me, and I think I looked at more at the details and not really maybe the overall picture. I looked more at the details. I looked more at the skills in it. I really do enjoy it. And it's from a skater I absolutely love, and that is Carolina Coster and her 2012 World's Free Skate. This program was set to Piano Concerto number 23 by good old Mozart. And I did not like this program, like I said, when I first watched it. And now I really do like this program. And I think I just didn't pay attention to the big details before. There's a few good, really good moments in the program that make it very charming and make it very almost relatable. It's not so, I don't know. Carolina Costner really puts her own personality into it and not, it just says she doesn't just skate it. She skates it for kind of herself in a way, and I'll explain how. Um, she starts out really strong with a beautiful triple loop and then an equally beautiful triple flip. The landings on those jumps almost look edited. Like I can't believe that those landings look so good. She really does have great extension. She goes into kind of a spiral sequence first with a Bielman kind of spiral that she does, and then this gorgeous back spiral where her leg is so high up. And so she's kind of skating back almost in like a camel position, but she's skating backwards in that position. It's a beautiful position. I really liked some of the kind of later jumps in this program. There's a couple jumps that have such a nice snap to it, have such a nice pop to them. Not they she didn't pop them, but they have a nice like pop into the air almost. Like the double axle is really, really nice. The first triple sal is really good. And I loved the second triple sal because she does a triple sal, double toe. And at the very end of the double toe, she kind of raises her arm in the air, like, yeah, I just did that. And it again, that's kind of like I guess it breaks the character of the program maybe, but it adds so much charm and adds so much personality to the program. And her smile is so big when she realizes she just landed that three jump combo successfully. That I really do think it's beautiful to see kind of that joy, that pure joy of your for your sport. Um some of the other moments, the step sequence. The step sequence is a big highlight because in that part of the piano concerto that's playing, it goes very, very fast. The keys are playing very fast. And she is able to really keep up with those keys. I feel like sometimes maybe like there's really fast music and a step sequence can like not really be on tempo, I guess. But in this step sequence, she's like going as fast as she can. It's like skate here, okay, switch edge here, da da ba, jump here. I don't know. It's crazy stuff in that step sequence, and I would love to learn how to do it, even though I literally cannot even skate, so I can't even I don't know. But just so fast, so quick, so like refined, and there's certainly not a lot of finesse in that type of step sequence. It just goes so quick. Okay. What else is there in this program that I like? There's this last, no, the second to last when she gets out of it, and her joy is so exuberant. She's like, yeah, she's almost like rushing into the next move because she's just so, yeah, I don't know, you can sense it. And then the very last one is beautiful. It goes by pretty fast. That sit spin position is very nice. And she kind of gets in her ending pose and she's kind of laid back and it's kind of like she's tired and it's just great. So it's a great watch. It's a charming watch. It's a joyous watch. Carolina Costner, her 2012 World's Free Skate to Piano Concerto number 23 by good old Mozart. And now it's time for our main episode. That was your program of the week. Okay, guys, so it is time for our main episode. There was a lot of competitions, not a lot, literally two, but they were very important competitions. That makes sense. Two competitions that were very important last weekend. So a week ago from when you're gonna hear this, but two competitions that were very, I think, very important. It had a lot of big names and not just like a few big names. Like I mean, a lot of big names. Um, yeah, and so lots of programs obviously to watch. I kind of have a new system where I kind of have been struggling recently with so much schoolwork and so many things to kind of find the time to catch up on figure skating programs. And so what I'm trying to really do is really try to implement watching more programs from that week, watching things that people upload on YouTube and upload on Reddit and Instagram and whatnot. And so I'm really trying really hard to watch more of the skating that's happening because I've been like reviewing the competition, but I haven't actually watched the skaters skate. And so all I can do is kind of read off their protocol and their scoring sheet, and it's just not as effective. I think I can't really make as many good points. I can't really talk about a lot more things if I'm not able to kind of watch the program as well. So I kind of have this new system in my life where I'm trying to watch at least a few programs every single day, probably after school, because I like have snack and stuff. And so whenever I have like free time, just know that I'm devoting it mostly to watching this sport and catching up on all the competitions I can, especially in this early season where the competitions are not streamed like on TV or anything, at least in the US where I live. So, I'm kind of at the hands of whoever will upload stuff on YouTube for me. So that's kind of the main thing right now is that I'm just waiting for people to upload things on YouTube basically. But anywho, when they do upload those things on YouTube, which is usually pretty quick, I'm hoping to be able to really watch all of them, at least watch the top skaters, maybe not all the skaters, but watch the top skaters for sure. Watch the ones that are in the top five on the podium, especially. Talk about what I want to see more of, talk about what they did good, etc. And that is a lot easier and a lot more effective if I'm able to actually watch the program and not just talk about it and go off of what other people say, which obviously I still do. I'm still looking at the scoring sheet and whatever other people say, but I also have my own opinion about the program and whatnot. So anyway, I know that's really complicated, but just know that I'm trying to be more organized and I'm trying to do better and give better commentary. Because what if I get a job? What if NBC hires me? Please hire me. Peacock, please hire me. Please, I don't know, ABC, please hire me. I need a job. Every teenager needs a job these days. Anyway, the action-packed weekend of competitions last week. There were two competitions that were very important. First being the Challenger Series Ondrej Nepela Memorial, 2025 edition of that in Bratislava in Slovakia. Bratislava is in Slovakia or Slovenia. Slovakia. Yeah, I'm not crazy. In Bratislava in Slovakia. And then we also had the Challenger Series Nebelhorn Trophy in Oberstdorf in Germany, which is a very old one as well. Both these competitions are pretty old ones, and I think they have like probably the best status out of all the Challenger Series competitions for being kind of the old and ancient ones. And so I do feel like they are, even though they're Challenger Series competitions and they're technically like the lower level between the Grand Prix, I feel like these two are kind of the old ones, the ones that have been around for a while, and people tend to kind of respect it more compared to some of the like newer challenge series competitions. But I don't know. I that's whatever, guys. No one actually cares about what I have to say. Yeah, you can click off now. No. Okay, so let's talk about the first competition, which is the 2025 Ondrej Nepela Memorial, not trophy. I almost said trophy. Both these competitions literally happen on the same days, on the same weekend. So I really don't think there's like one or the other I'm going for. So let's just start off in Bratislava because why not? Why not start off in Bratislava? And this one had a lot of things to kind of talk about. Let's see here. Where am I gonna start? I'm gonna start in eighth place with Nikolai Momola of Italy. So Nikolai Momola of Italy was kind of Italy's top man last season. He ended up going to Europeans where he won the silver medal last season. This early season, let's see his results. This early season has maybe, interestingly been it's been interesting. He did compete a Lombardia Trophy about 3 weeks ago, which I did review in an episode, and he did really, really well there with a new personal best. But this competition was just very unfortunate for him. He scored about 45 points below that. He was fifth place here in the short program. He did get a quarter call on the last jump of his triple flip, triple toe, and an under rotation on his quad lutz. And I think a fall on that as well, or fall somewhere else. And then he had an eighth place free skate with an air on the quad lutz, a fall and a quarter on the triple axel, and a repetition call on a quad lutz, and a pop triple into single lutz. So, some issues there, obviously. Unfortunately, I really do think Nikolai Momola, what I've been seeing a lot in his score sheets these past few seasons is the under rotations. His under rotation calls are often there for his quads, his quad flip, and his quad lutz. He did not get any edge calls at this competition. I do find that is something with him as well, is that he tends to get a lot of edge calls from the technical panel. For his lutzes and flips, I really do enjoy Nikolai Momola skating. I think he's one of the like I really liked his like kind of upcoming from the young star in the junior ranks squad up into this a lot more matured and I think a lot more skilled skater now, and I really do enjoy his skating. Italy, has only 2 spots for the Olympics, and we will talk about this later because there are other Italian men at this competition. But Italy has 2 spots for the Olympics for the men. Nikolai Momola is in the running for it, but it is not guaranteed for any of those Italian men for sure. Okay. In seventh place from Poland, we had Vladimir Samoilov. So he is someone who I feel like we haven't seen a lot of, or at least has kind of been a dark horse in a lot of competitions in the past. He has had, okay scores in the 220s, the 230 range. He did do really, really well. What is it? Yeah, he had that amazing performance at Europeans in the short last season. This season, this is his first competition, so really warming up for the season. He was seventh in the short program with a combo, a fall on his triplets. Um, and then he was sixth place in the free skate with a fall in the quadlets, a pop quad sal into a double sal, and a bit of an air on the triplets there. So, not the best programs for sure, but we've seen him land that quadlet successfully in the past, and it has proved to be quite a dangerous weapon for him in terms of that high base value and the very high GOE potential. And I'm hoping to see more of him on the international stage. Poland, again, does have 1 spot for the Olympics, and so, definitely in the running for to get that as well. In sixth place, we have a young star from the US, and I'm actually very shocked that he's actually placed 18th in the world right now. I think that's really, really impressive. And that is Jacob Sanchez. I believe Jacob Sanchez is competing only on the senior ranks this season. He was competing on the junior international stage for a bit, like 2 seasons or something, and he had a lot of success there as well. He, went to the Youth Olympics. He went to the World Juniors. He had a win at the Junior Grand Prix final. And so he's obviously hoping to translate some of that junior success into a senior level success this season. He was third in the short program here with a fairly clean skate, a little bit of an error on the triple axle there. And then he was ninth in the free skate with a triple sal. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a quad. A fall in the triple axle, an under or a downgrade on the Euler, and 2 pop jumps at the very end. So, someone who is very young and he did really, really well in the short program. The free skate was just a bit unfortunate for him, unfortunately. a bit unfortunate for him. Unfortunately, does not make sense. But he did get quite a few good levels on his step sequence and his spins at this competition, actually. So that is really good key point there. The US men have 3 spots. Jacob Sanchez is definitely not out of the running. In fact, I would say he's probably one of the I don't know. I don't know. The US men are complicated. Last week I did talk about kind of the most competitive competitions in getting discipline spots around the world. The US men are definitely one of those things where like I'm not sure who exactly is gonna go. Jacob Sanchez could definitely take that third spot though, for sure. In fifth place from oh my gosh, from Slovakia, we have competing at home, sorry. We have Adam Hagara from Slovakia, who again is another skater who's been competing on the junior stage for a while, but here he competed on the senior stage. He was ninth here, following quad toe in the short program, and then fifth in the free skate with a clean quad toe. That was the first quad toe he's ever landed, and a clean program except for a fall on the triple loop at the very end. But still a really good program. It actually got him a new actually, I think what is his personal best? Is it closest personal best? No, unfortunately not. But a really good program from Adam Hagara nonetheless. Um, competing at home is always scary, and he's actually 15th in the world. This is actually kind of surprising. I did not realize that so many of these men were very high up from all their junior points as well. Anyway, interesting. Fourth place from Estonia, we have the younger Selevko brother, that is Mikhail Selevko. He was sixth in the short program here, with a downgrade on his quad toe, and then he was fourth in the free skate with an air on the quad toe, a repetition on the triple flip, and a pop single let single axel. Oh gosh, and I think he popped his second quad toe attempt as well. I think I'm not sure, but yeah. I think Estonia only has does Estonia have 2 spots? I think Estonia only has 1 spot for the Olympics. So that would be an interesting competition between him and his brother there for sure. Okay, getting onto the podium now. First, we have Daniel Grazel in third place, from Italy. So, like I said, the Italian man. Here he was second in the short program with a skate that had a quarter on the quadlets and a UR, an under rotation on the quad loop. And then in third in the free skate, again, a couple issues with the under rotations here. Quarter quadlets, quarter fall, triple axel, quarter triple toe, under rotation on triple toe, and then 2 actually spin errors as well. Daniel Grazel is a skater who has unfortunately been struggling with under rotations on those quad attempts for a while. It does depend wildly, I found, with him on the technical panel. Some of them like are really harsh, some of them are not. This one was definitely on the harsher side, calling all of those under rotation calls. Um, I think people were not interestingly, some people his program is like about the Pope or something. It's like a movie about the Pope, the papacy, which is interesting, but I'm not really I think people were shocked by it. I haven't seen it yet, unfortunately. I'm trying. I'm trying. It wasn't out on YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay, guys. But yeah, interesting concept for sure. The second Italian man on the second place podium here was Matteo Rizzo of Italy, who is very much the veteran of the Italian men. In the short program, he was fourth with an under rotation on the triple axel, unfortunately. And then he was second in the free skate with a very clean skate, except for a pop double lets. And I think he may have wanted to go for a second quad toe that he popped into a triple, but all positive GOE across the whole program. So I was wanting to talk about the Italian men. The 3 main Italian men were all here at this world competition: Nikolai Momola, Daniel Grazel, and Mejerizzo. So again, they only have 2 spots for the Olympics. Which of those 2 spots will go to which 2 men? I don't know. There were 3 men here, and actually one more man I'm going to talk about the other competition that's also kind of in the field. Matteo Rizzo, I think, is someone who people have kind of been putting on the lower end of that because of his kind of history with injury and unfortunate mishaps there. And maybe not having the consistency, but this first competition really does prove that maybe he does have something in the bag. Maybe he is really, really fighting for um, that result. He actually did go to Lombardia Trophy the same competition that Nikolai Momola went to, and they kind of flipped here. Here Mayorito did really well. Nikolai Momola did not do so well. At the other competition, they kind of flipped that. So it's very interesting. The Italian men for me are very interesting. Not sure where they're all gonna place, but we'll find out. In first place, though, we have Kevin Amos of France, who really sold the show here. He was first in the short program with fairly clean skate, a little bit negative Dewey on that triple axel, but got the quad done. First in the free skate, got the quad toe done. He did pop a triple lutz into a single lutz and did get kind of a repetition, oh no, invalid element on the triple toe Euler triple sal. That last jump was invalid. Why was that invalid? Why was that invalidated again? Gosh, I cannot see. Quad toe, double toe. I guess he didn't complete it like in a succession, I guess. I haven't seen the program either. I'm sorry. It's not on YouTube, I swear. I haven't seen it on YouTube at least. I don't know. But I think Kevin Amos is someone a lot of people have kind of like counted out because yes, he has had consistency issues in the past. In fact, very major consistency issues. But, obviously, we're all hoping that he can build back better from that, build back from that. And, he's had a couple competitions where he hasn't qualified for the European Street Skate, that he scored below 200, that, a lot of maybe concerning results for a lot of fans and a lot of people. But honestly, I don't think that his issues are like unsolvable. And I think this is good evidence of that. There is really, an opportunity to solve that here for sure. Okay. So that was the men's field. Let's move over real quick to the women's field. The women's field here did really, really well. Honestly, this is a competitive women's field. I want to start in 12th place with Chaeyeon Kim of South Korea, who I believe it might be dealing with an injury, if I remember correctly, is that what I saw, or she was ill. Cheon Kim has been a world medalist. She was third at 2024 World. She won Fort Collins last season with an amazing skate. And 12th here just is not her best, results that she's ever had, unfortunately. Though I do think she's dealing with kind of another issue. Here she was 8th in the short program. She did get a quarter call on the triple lutz and only completed a double toe, and an under rotation and edge call on the triple flip here. And then she did 14th in the free skate with, again, a few errors, under rotations on a lot of the jumps, popping a triple lutz into a single lutz, unfortunately. Did get a downgrade on a triple flip. I honestly do think that I hope she just rests, honestly, because we've seen Cheon Kim before. We know Cheon Kim. We see her, we love her, and we know that she is a really good skater. So, I do think this one result may have just been due to injury, and I hope she gets the rest that she needs to recover from that. Because again, she's been a world medalist. She last season was very much in the mix for world's medals, for the discussion for the Olympics, everything like that. So, I think this is just an injury thing. Hopefully. Okay. In 11th place is Elise Lynn Gracie of the US. She had a really breakout season last season with a really great score at the Lombardi Trophy or the Nebelhorn Trophy. I can't remember. But she had a really great score at a Challenger Series event last season. Then they gave her 2 Grand Prix spots. And then the Grand Prix didn't really go well for her. And then she didn't really do too well at Nationals. And then she got a world medal at Junior Worlds at the bronze. So, obviously an interesting season trajectory last season for Elise Lynn Gracie. I think even, now in the 11th place, here she, did struggle, 13th short program, popped it, downgraded. Wait, I guess she only did a waltz jump on the jump, the double axel. And then, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And then unfortunate mistakes in the free skate as well. A few pop jumps and then a fall on a spin as well, unfortunately, going into the spin. Again, Elisa Gracie is a very talented skater. We've seen the results before. Definitely not impossible. Again, this is only October, so is it really that important? No, but hopefully she's able to build back because I remember last year we were like, oh my gosh, a new US star. Maybe she's gonna go to the Olympics, etc. And I really hope that she can really regain some of that success as well. Okay. Okay, let's move up a little bit for the sake of time. Let's move up to the fifth place. Fifth place was Sarah Maud Dupuis of Canada. She was third in the short program with a clean skate, and then she was sixth in the free skate. She attempted a triple axel. It was not under rotated actually, but she kind of had a bad awkward landing on it, so that's why I got negative GOE. But no fall on it, no under rotation on it. Really impressive. I know that we've seen videos of her attempting the triple axel before, and so this is really great that she's been attempting it in competition now. Again, Canadian women are actually like building back strong, and I mean strong. But anyway, Sarah Dupuis, she unfortunately popped both of her triple lutz attempts here into double lutzes, but other than that, the rest of her programs were clean. But it did give her a fifth place finish with a new personal best. And again, if she can get that triple axel up to par, that could be really, really strong for her. And then fourth place from was Maria Senyuk. She was seventh in the short program here. Under rotation on the triple flip, triple toe, and then third in the free skate for fourth overall with 2 edge calls on the triple lutz, or 2 unclear edge calls, I would say. So yeah, really good. And then the top podium was actually 3 Italian women. First was Serena Jews in third place. She was fifth in the short program. 2 spin errors, but the rest of the program was very clean, very technically good. And then fourth in the free skate. Oh wait, fifth in the short, fourth in the free skate, third overall. She did have a bit of an error on the triple flip where she did get an unclear edge again. But other than that, really good program for her. And second place was Anna Pezzetta, also of Italy. She was second in the short here with a clean skate, and second in the free skate with also a fairly clean skate. Did pop the triple loop into a double, and then in the same thing with the lutz, double lutz. So yeah, but a new personal best there. Anna Pezzetta is very much known for her big jumps. You should see some of her jumps. She does a triple flip and a triple lutz like it's nobody's business. It goes flying halfway across the ring. It's very impressive. A lot of people have said that she can't really, isn't like very consistent in controlling those jumps, maybe. But I'm really hoping that this is kind of the turnaround for her because she did do all her flips and lets is pretty good here. So, I really would love to see those jumps fly. Yeah, and then in first place from Italy as well was Laranaki Gutman. She reached her first, I believe, 200 score over here. First in the short program with a clean skate. First in the free skate with a fairly clean skate, just an air on the triple toe double axel, under rotation on that double axel. But otherwise, a really clean skate from the Italian skater. Again, the Italian women only have 1 spot for the Olympics, and all 3 of their women actually did fairly well here. Laranaki Gutman was, first place here. She was about 10 points ahead of Anna Pizzetta in second, but anything can change because it's only October. But, Laranaki Gutman has really been the forefront, the head of the Italian women for a few seasons now. So I think a lot of people are expecting her to take the spot, but it could really go to Anna Pizzetta, maybe even Selena Jews here. Okay, let's end off with ice dance. There was no pairs of the competition. And was there pairs? Yeah, there was pairs of the other competition, but there is no pairs here at the Ondrej Nepela Memorial. But let's talk, guys. Let's talk. Let's start in. Let's see here. What's a good place to start? Let's start in sixth place with the Finnish team of Orihara and Piranen. They were sixth place here with sixth place in the rhythm dance and sixth place in the free dance. Levels wise, or actually Twizzles, they did make a slight error on in the free dance. Levels wise, their levels aren't maybe as high as some of the other teams, and maybe that's the reason for the lower scores. So technically not as high as the other teams. And so the only thing I want to talk about honestly is the citizenship issue. Orihara is originally from Japan and she competes for Finland currently. A lot of people have said that I've seen that there have been kind of issues with that process of attaining Finnish citizenship. I believe she does speak the language and she is kind of learning more all about it. But if Finland is not able to get her citizenship in time, then she will not be able to go to the Olympics actually, which would be very devastating. So I think that is they're a very big fan favorite team, and a lot of people like myself are definitely hoping for them to get that citizenship so they can go to the Olympics together. But yeah. Fifth place was the French dancers Demejou and Le Mercier. They were third in the rhythm dance here, with a solid skate, and then fourth in the free dance with another solid skate. They did get too much extended time on their jumps, their choreographed jumps. But this is a tight competition. They were third in the rhythm, fourth in the free, and fifth overall. A team that had the opposite result of that was Loporeva and Brissot. Also France, they were fourth here. They were fourth in the rhythm dance with a good skate, and then third in the free dance with a good skate. Um, they are the weird, eccentric French couple. French ice dance is a bit complicated right now. They have two spots at the Olympics, and they have a couple teams that definitely could go there. We have obviously the return of um, Fournier Baudry and Cizeron. So take that what you want. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't want to say anything. Yeah. Anyway, a really good comeback from the third place team here. That's disgusting. I spelled myself. A really good comeback from the third place team here. Seventh place in the rhythm dance, Green and Parsons from the USA. Seventh place in the rhythm dance. It was a tight rhythm dance, and then second in the free dance with a really good skate. Green and Parsons is one of those teams where a lot of people think that they could make the Olympic team. I definitely do agree. I definitely think they could make the Olympic team. I'm hoping they do because I really do enjoy their skating. Anyway, first place here was Tashlerova, or second place was Tashlerova and Tashler of the Czech Republic. They were first in the rhythm dance here with a good skate. Unfortunate fifth place in the free dance. Everything was pretty solid actually. Just some of their levels were a little bit lower than they would have liked. But again, that free dance was very, very tight as the rhythm dance was. So there was a lot of shuffling around in the ice dance here, which you usually don't really get. But for the first place team was Smart and Deke from Spain. I almost said España, but Spain, yes, España. Second in the rhythm dance with a really solid skate, and then first place in the free dance with a good skate. They're doing their Dune Part 2 dance, which they did Part 1 last year. Now they're doing Part 2. I don't actually know how I feel about it. I think one thing of Dune was good enough for me, but they do sell it really well. So I guess that's another point. But I like the Dune program for sure, but it's not my favorite. That's all I'm saying. But that concludes the Nepela Memorial. Let's hop over to Germany real quick. We're taking a flight, guys. We have to go through their TSA, scan, scan, scan. Let's talk about Germany over here. In Germany, a lot of things happen in Germany. In Germany, yes. Oh wow, a lot of things happen in Germany. Anyway, a lot of things happen in Germany. Let's start at the men's event. Of course, sixth place here was Liam Kapikas of the U.S. This is a very surprising result for me. Liam Kapikas has been on the senior stage for a bit now. He's had a good few results at nationals here and there, but this is a really good international competition for him. He did have an undertation on the triple axel in the short program, but a very, vengeful he avenged himself in the free skate with a third place finisher. He was pretty much all clean except for a popped triple axel to a single axel, but amazing GOE on his jumps. um, I don't know. This is a competition. The U.S. men, man, the U.S. men are so complicated. This is a pretty solid score, 227.45 it is for Liam Kapikas. A really solid score on par with a lot of what the other U.S. men are usually scoring. Maybe it could be a pick for that third Olympic spot. I don't know. It's complicated. Yeah. In fifth place from Canada, we have Roman Sadovsky. He was fifth in the short program here with a fall and quarter on the quad style, unfortunately. But then he did have a really good second place free skate. Hand down on that first quad style and quarter and repetition call in the second half, and a bit of a wobble on that double axel Euler triple style. We talk about Roman Sosky. He has been the top Canadian man for a few seasons now. He did earn Canada one spot for the Olympics, and I think there's a lot of conversation around who will be getting that spot, and I will explain why later. But yeah, Roman Sosky in fifth place. In fourth place was one of my favorite skaters from Japan, Kazuki Tomono. Kazuki Tomono is always such a ball of energy, and I love it. In the short here, he did have errors on his quad toe, double toe, and the quad sal, unfortunately. And then in the free skate, he was sixth there with a lot of errors, unfortunately. Downgrades, underrotations, popped quad toe into double toe, unfortunately. Um, so the jumps just weren't for him in the free skate there, but I think he has just good skating skill. Honestly, somewhat better skating style and skills than a lot of his fellow countrymen, a lot of the fellow men in the world. I feel like Kazuki Tomono's underrated in that department in the skating skills. I think he's great in that. But that's my opinion. I'm sorry. My nose. Oh my gosh. Third place here from Switzerland was Lucas Brisky, who is the current reigning European champion. So really, a lot of big pressure maybe from earning that title last season. He was fourth in the short program here with a good skate, except a quad toe, double toe, just a slight error on that. And then he was fifth in the free skate with a fall on the quad toe, a fall on the triple axel, and then kind of a big major error on the triple axel, double axel, and then a or double lets, double toe, which he definitely would have wanted to be a triple lets, triple toe. But anyway, he still made it on the podium here. Like I said, he is the reigning European champion, so he does have a lot of that street cred behind him. He's competed very well at the past at Worlds as well and other European events. So, really good results for him. But, maybe, I don't know. I feel like he could still very much be that big surprise on that European level. He's built himself so well over this last quad. His trajectory has really grown season by season. And so I think he really could be a big threat for that European podium. And if the jumps get very, very clean and the score is very, very high, bigger things are in indoors in store for him. Okay, and second place for the US men was Andrew Torgashev, who was second in the short program here with a new personal best. So congratulations to him with a clean skate there. And then he was fourth in the free skate with a fall on the quad toe, a quarter on the second quad toe, and a downgrade on the triple axel, including a repetition call. So, it wasn't his best free skate after a really amazing short program. But again, the US men are quite competitive. They have 3 spots. One of them is definitely going to Eli Molina, and one of them is likely going to Jason Brown. And so that third US men's spot can go to anyone. And Andrew Torgashev, I think, is solidly kind of in the head of that. Even though he is not definitely a lock for the Olympic team, he is definitely kind of in lead for that spot. And so you have a lot of other skaters like Maxim Naumov and Liam Kapikas, who I mentioned earlier at this same competition, who are kind of trying to get that spot as well. So it's all very interesting. But first in from Canada was actually a very surprising result was Steven Gogalev of Canada in first place. This was a very surprising result. I think we first saw Steven Gogalev when he was a junior at the age of like 13 or 14 in like 2018, where he just blew the world away with his squats and his jumps, and it's just like, whoa, this kid is so talented. And as he got older, the jumps, the growth spurts, etc., he had a few seasons of being quite inconsistent, unfortunately not going to many competitions. But maybe this is the start of something new, because he did get a third, if I remember correctly, at the Cranberry Cup, and now a first place finish here at the Nebelhorn Trophy. He was first in the short program with a 90.19 clean skate there, except the spin at the very end. And then he was also first place in the free skate with a new personal best, a couple of errors as well, but he's getting all the jumps done basically. Did pop a double toe there, slight errors on some of the other jumps, but this was a really impressive result. Did do a triple lutz, triple axel combo as well. But Steven Gogalev, this was a really surprising result for me. After so many seasons of, not the best results, he comes here to Nebelhorn Trophy. He does really well and he ends up winning. And he ends up winning actually by almost 16 points. So it's really impressive there. So maybe he isn't a threat for that Canadian Olympic spot. I don't know, man. Canada is a bit crazy right now. I'm just saying. Canada is a bit crazy. Okay, let's head over to the women's side. The women's side has a lot of interesting skaters to talk about. I'm going to talk about the top 4 here, because the top 4 were so fascinating to me, because these scores were all above 200, 2 of them above 210. So obviously very impressive. And fourth place here we had Isabel Levito of the US. Isabel did really well here. She was fourth, but she was actually third in both of the programs. Third in the short program, did get an under rotation on that triple toe in the short program, and to me that one did very much look under rotated. To me, sometimes the skaters still skate by so fast that I can't tell, but Isabel does, unfortunately have issues sometimes with the under rotation calls. She was also third in the free skate, again, same error on the triple toe there, and two quarter calls on the loop and Lutz later in the program. And she did pop a double loop, actually a triple loop into a double loop. So that was unfortunate, but still, I think quite a skilled skater. She is still definitely someone who, with this very high score of 207.21, very capable of making the U.S. Olympic team. I think she really has carried the U.S. women for a few seasons now, and so I think she definitely deserves it. And hopefully, she's able to put out good skates this season and throughout the years. I guess I don't know throughout the season. Who knows what I'm saying at this point? I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Okay. In third place here was the Korean skater on her international senior debut season, and that is Jia Shin, who was first in the short program here with a very, very nice skate, a very pleasant skate, and then she was a fourth place in the free skate. So that first place in the short definitely saved her. Quarter on the triple style, understation on both the triple lutz and triple toe. And then she was, I don't know, and then she did make a slight error on that triple flip double axel, struggling to get out of that landing cleanly. But Gia Shin is very interesting because to me, she is kind of the main junior skater kind of coming up from the rings, and she's trying to make her senior debut on the Olympic season where it's very, very serious. And hopefully she's able to earn that. Hopefully she's able to make a successful transition in that way. And it looks like she is. That 208.45 is a pretty strong score for any competition for sure. In second place above Jioshin was Moni Chiba of Japan, who is just very impressive. She was fourth in the short here, quarter call on the triple flip and the triple toe, and then edge call, unclear edge on the triple lutz. And then she was first in the free skate with a clean skate except for unclear edge on the triple lutz, and then an edge call on the triple lutz, quarter on that same triple lutz. But still a very personal best skate of 144.40, and I think Moni Chiba is very much the Japanese queen of consistency. I call Sarah Everhart in the US the American queen of consistency, but Moni Chiba is the Japanese queen of consistency because it doesn't seem like she falls very often. It doesn't seem like she pops very often. And so, very consistent skater and a very good score to match that for sure. Definitely still very much a threat for the Olympic podium. This is a very high score. I think she's very much a dark horse of the Olympic podium. Or at least for the Olympic gold. I think she could very much, very, very likely get on the Olympic podium. That Olympic gold, though, is kind of in the air for a lot of skaters. And I think Moni Chiba could maybe take that opportunity and earn it for herself. Okay, let's talk about Amber Glenn in first place. My favorite skater from the US. She was first place here after overall, but she was actually second in both programs, which the maths out, okay, guys. She was second in the short program. Clean triple axel, very good. Triple flip, triple toe, and then a triple loop with a little bit of an error. This is her new Madonna program. I liked the beginning, and then the music kind of got edited, and it wasn't my favorite, but maybe it'll grow on me. And then second place free skate here, she was pretty clean. She did leave out one combo she could have done, and then she did fall on a triple loop. Or at least she left out the combo because she could have added another double axle to the end of that. But she did fall on another triple loop at the very end, unfortunately. But I think this just proves that this is a very much math-based sport. Even if you get second in both programs, you can be first overall. I know. But Emery Glenn is actually using her same free skate from last season, so that's quite interesting to see her use that. Yeah. Okay, but my favorite. I hope she does really well this season. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go over to the pairs because this actually had a very interesting, and I mean in a good way, pairs competition. This was an interesting pairs competition. I think so anyway. I think it was an interesting pairs competition. Oh my gosh. I'm so tired. Okay. Let's see here. So I think this was a very interesting pairs competition. I literally just said that. What am I saying in my head at this point, guys? I don't know. This was an interesting pairs competition because it had a lot of top teams, and I think a lot of teams that are quite notable. So let's see. Let's start off with Let's see, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna start off in eighth place because I want to talk about something. Eighth place was Hockey and Kunkel of Germany, the home country here. They were 10th in the short program with a undertation on the triple style, and then eighth in the free skate with a pop triple into a double lutz, or into a double style, and they're side by side. But otherwise, a pretty solid skate from them. No major errors anywhere else. And this was a good result for them. Germany has quite been a strong country in the pairs recently. And honestly, Germany is always like, I feel like switching off between what discipline they're like the best at. And I think pairs is definitely the theme of this. They have a lot of strong pair teams, one that we'll discuss later at the competition. But Hockey and Kunkel have very much been together for a bit now. And I think that they have really, exerted themselves as very good skaters who can put together a program when it does matter. They've won Grand Prix medals together before. They've won a European medal together before. So, very much a skilled team, and I'm hoping that they can maybe regain a bit more consistency that they had, but they are a really solid team. Okay, let's see. And seventh place was the Italian team of Beccari and Guaris. So they were seventh in the short here, and then seventh in the free, seventh in the short air on the triple two side by side, seventh in the free, seventh in the free, airs on again on the side by side jumps. So again, side by side jumps are off, like they're always a problem in skating anyway. So who actually cares? But yeah, a bit of an issue there, but still a really good skate for the both of them. Yeah. Okay. Italian pairs again is quite complicated. There are two spots for the Italian pairs, and there are quite a few teams that could earn those spots. So definitely going to be interesting what will happen with those. Okay, and sixth place here was from the Canadian team of Pereira and Micho. 11th in the short here. They did unfortunately abandon the lift at the end of their program. But a very redemptive fifth place free skate did fall on the triple loop throw, popped the triple sound to double sound, and a slight error on the triple flip throw. But otherwise, a really solid skate from Pereira and Micho. Okay. Then we had McBeath and Parkman from the US in fifth place. They were sixth in both programs. McBeath and Parkman are a US team who have recently formed, and they have had pretty good success. They were second at US Nationals, which is a really good result for them. So, maybe they're hoping to get the Olympic team bearing, citizenship issues get resolved and everything, but they are a team with that potential for sure. Fourth here was Ghiari and Rossini of Italy. Again, Italian pairs is kind of a complicated field. There are kind of a lot of Italian pairs that really could do very well. Here they were fourth in the short program. Did do a triple lutz throw with a slight error on it, and then they had a fourth place in the free skate as well with a pop double style as well on that side by side. But the rest of the jumps and the list and everything were pretty solid overall. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, good. All right, last three teams here on the podium. In third place was Efimova and Mitrofanov of the U.S. We remember them because of that amazing free skate they had at the Worlds, and they won the U.S. Nationals title last season, and it just felt like a fairy tale second half of the season for them. They were third in the short here, fall on the triple style, unfortunately side by side, and then third in the free skate as well. Downgrade on that triple style, and then let's see, triple toe error, and then triple style throw errors as well. But again, they are a team that, maybe can get their citizenship issues resolved, and then they would be able to go to the Olympics, and they could make a very big impact at the Olympics if they had, again, another one of those skates and hopefully end up in the, top six, top eight area in the pairs. The last two teams were a vicious battle between, two teams that have been very competitive these last two seasons. The second place team, though, unfortunately, not unfortunately for them, but, they still did amazing here, was Miura and Kihara of Japan. They were first in the short program here with an under rotation on their triple toe. And then they were second in the free skate here. Unfortunate errors popping that double style and then a fall on the triple loop throw unfortunately put their score lower than the other team, but not much lower. They were only 0.35 away from the other team. So again, very minimal mistake that unfortunately cost them. The first place team was Hasse and Volodin. They were second in the short program with a clean skate actually, and then first in the free skate with a bit of an error on their side by side triple toe double axle single axle. but everything else was good. I think they skated a little bit more cleaner than Miura and Kihara. Maybe they didn't have the components necessarily, but they did skate technically a little bit cleaner, and that really helped them here. We talk about the top pairs teams in the world, and Hase Voda and Miura and Kihara are those top two teams, and they competed here. And again, they were only 0.35 away from each other, which proves how tense and tight these scores tend to be. Hase Voda and Miura and Kihara are both very good teams. They both very much could earn the Olympic gold, so it will be very much up in the air, and we will see what happens as the season progresses. Okay, let's end off very quickly with our darling, darling, darling ice dance. Let's talk about the top four teams here. And the fourth place position was the German team of Van Rensburg and Stefan. They were third in the rhythm dance here with a clean, clean, clean thing. And then fourth in the rhythm dance or free dance, actually. Fourth in the rhythm dance with again a clean skate. They were very close to the third place team. The third place team was only 0.12 ahead of them. So again, very much splitting hairs. I think they really could have, split up. They could have not split up. They could have flip flopped, I guess, and definitely a lot of things there. They were third. No, the third place team was L'Oreal and Legac of Canada, who were fourth in the rhythm dance with a pretty clean skate. Did get longer on the choreographic rhythm sequence than they would have liked, and then third in the free dance as well with a pretty solid report card there, and did better in the free dance than Van Rensburg and Stefan did, and so that's kind of what won them over, even though their rhythm dance was not strong. But yeah, Carrera and Ponomarenko from the US were here in second. They were second in the rhythm dance and then also second in the free dance with, clean all the way through. Good Jui. A couple of levels could be not level 4 yet, but could get there. Carrera Ponomarenko, they are very much cemented in my mind as the second place US Ice Dance team below Chalk and Bates, but above the rest of the US Ice Dance pack that is very fierce and vicious. But Carrera Ponomarenko, they are a really solid team. They have placed I think fifth at Worlds before in 2024. They have won a lot of medals together and Grand Prix medals and things like that. So a very strong team of Kura and Ponomarenko. Really good for them. And then in first place here was Fear and Gibson. They were first in the rhythm dance here with a good skate, a little longer on that rhythm sequence again, and then first in the free dance with a really good skate. This season, I do think Fear and Gibson have solid programs. In the rhythm dance, they're doing Spice Girls, and the free dance, they're doing a Scottish electronic, very upbeat kind of thing. I think we've known them for a long time as these showmen, these very good performers, these very, they're not very into their programs are not as serious and moral and philosophical. Their programs are fun, they're entertaining, and they're so upbeat, which is, the kind of skating that a lot of people want to see. And I think Fear and Gibson have really sold themselves with this Scottish dance. I think it's both entertaining and it's, very interesting to have something Scottish represented at the Olympics. um, you know, have that representation there. And it's also just really good in general. It has the right energy. And I think it's a lot better than, and it's very much improved over their last programs for sure. And I really love that for them, for Fear and Gibson. So they are very much hungry for European podium and maybe the Olympic podium as well. But that is all for this episode of a Teen Talks Game podcast. I talked a lot today about two competitions, the Challenge Series Ondrej Nepela Memorial 2025 and the Challenge Series Nebelhorn Trophy 2025. Grand Prix are in 2 weeks, which is crazy. I think next week, oh gosh, next week or the week after. I think probably the week after. Let me think. Next week, I will review the Challenger Series Dennis 10 Memorial and maybe discuss something else. And then the week after that, I will discuss, what is it? The week after that, I will be discussing kind of a preview of the Grand Prix and what that is all about. But yes, the figure skating season is very much kicking into full gear as we speak. Every single day that goes by, we're getting very close to the Olympics. We are probably less than, I don't know, 150 days from the Olympics. I don't even know how to do the math of that. 120. That sounds right, like 120-ish days from the Olympics, maybe. I have no idea how many days actually, but probably about that far from the Olympics. So every day that gets closer, we're a little bit closer to seeing our favorite skaters on Olympic ice, battling it out for glory. So it'll be very interesting to see that. But anyway, my name is Vanko. I hope you enjoyed episode number 88 of the Teen Top Singing Podcast, where I discuss the Challenge Series Nebelhorn Trophy and the Challenge Series Ondrej Nepela Trophy Memorial, not trophy. I messed up again. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Yeah. Bye bye.